Most people wait until they feel like doing the thing. They wait for the mood. They wait for the motivation. But discipline, the kind that rewires your life, begins the moment you stop giving your emotions a vote. That's the line. That's the point where you separate yourself from the crowd. Because if you're relying on feelings to dictate your actions, you're already surrendering power. Feelings are fleeting. Discipline is permanent. You don't have to feel ready. You don't have to feel motivated. You don't even have to feel good. You just have to move get up, show up, do it anyway. That voice in your head that says, I'm tired, I don't want to, it can wait. That voice is the enemy of your evolution. It's soft, it's safe, it's survival, and survival never made anyone great. Discipline starts where feelings end, when you're exhausted and your body's screaming to stop. When it's raining, when it's uncomfortable, when no one's watching, that's the proving ground. That's the real work, because it's easy to show up when things feel right. It's easy to be productive when you're inspired. It's easy to be disciplined when your life is already in rhythm. But what defines you is what you do when it's not. You want to be more disciplined? Get out of your head. Stop asking how you feel. Stop negotiating with weakness, because every time you negotiate with your emotions, you reinforce them. You give them power they don't deserve. The mind loves comfort, but discipline is born in defiance of comfort. It's built on deliberate discomfort, the kind you walk into willingly because you know what's on the other side is stronger than anything you feel right now. You think warriors feel like showing up every day. You think greatness happens in a state of constant motivation. No, what they've mastered is ignoring the noise, the internal whining, the stories. They've trained their minds to act, regardless of feeling. That's what you're hacking here, not just habits. You're hacking your internal code. You're rewriting the script from I feel like it to I do it. You don't get to choose your feelings, but you do get to choose your response. And that response, moment by moment, is what molds the disciplined life. Every rep you do when you're sore, every hour of work you put in when your energy's shot, every time you say no to something easy and yes to something necessary, that's where discipline is forged. That's where the transformation happens. And here's the truth. Discipline doesn't just change what you do. It changes who you become. It hardens your mind. It reshapes your identity. It tells your inner child to sit down and your inner warrior to take the lead. The person who acts despite emotion is the person who commands their destiny. And once you experience that, once you taste the freedom that comes from self-mastery, you won't ever want to go back to waiting on motivation again. But it starts with this. The moment you feel resistance, you lean in. You use it as your compass. The more uncomfortable it feels, the more necessary it is. The more you want to avoid it, the more power it holds for your growth. That's the paradox. That's the code. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So stop waiting for perfect conditions. They don't exist. Stop looking for the right mood. It won't last. The clock is ticking, and your future doesn't care about how you feel. It only cares about what you build. And you don't build discipline by feeling your way through life. You build it by deciding who you are, locking into it, and refusing to negotiate with weakness. You want real freedom, real power, then kill the habit of waiting. Because the second you stop needing to feel ready is the second you become unstoppable. Everything you do, every decision, every habit, every pattern you repeat, it all stems from one source, who you believe you are. That's the root, identity. It's not just what you do, it's the story running in the background of your mind. That quiet, consistent voice whispering, "This is who I am." And here's the catch. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your identity. You say you want to be disciplined, but do you see yourself as disciplined? Or are you still clinging to the identity of someone who's trying, someone who's working on it, someone who wants change but hasn't fully committed to becoming the kind of person who demands it from themselves every day, no matter what? If the story in your head says, "I'm lazy, I'm inconsistent, I've never been the type," guess what? Your actions will always find a way to match that story. That's how powerful identity is. We'd rather be right about who we are than change. And that's why most people stay stuck, not because they can't change, but because deep down, they haven't updated who they think they are. You want to change your life, hack your mind at the root level. Stop focusing so much on behavior and go deeper. Behavior follows belief. You need to install a new identity, one that doesn't leave room for excuses, one that doesn't entertain doubt, one that walks into discomfort like it's home because the mission is bigger than the mood. Here's what that looks like in real time. Instead of saying, "I need to go to the gym," you say, "I'm someone who doesn't skip." Instead of saying, "I should probably get up early," you say, "I'm the kind of person who gets up no matter what." Do you see the difference? You're not trying to act disciplined. You are disciplined. Your identity has shifted from the outside in. You don't need external motivation when the internal system is already aligned. Think about it. Every time you act in a way that reinforces a disciplined identity, you're laying another brick in the foundation of who you are. Every small win matters. Every time you make your bed, finish the workout, shut off distractions and lock in, you're voting for the person you want to become. And over time, those votes add up. That's not wishful thinking, that's neuroscience. You're literally reprogramming your mind through repetition and consistency. But it takes ruthless honesty. You have to catch the lies you tell yourself, the little stories that let you off the hook. "I've just always been this way. I'll start tomorrow. It's not the right time." No, those are the old identity trying to stay alive. Kill it. You don't owe that version of you anything. That version wants comfort, not growth. And if you let it run the show, you'll keep circling the same mountain for the rest of your life. So ask yourself, who am I really? And more importantly, who do I need to be to create the life I say I want? Because once you answer that, your path becomes clear. It's not about adding more motivation. It's about removing the false identities that have kept you small. It's about uninstalling the mental programs that whisper you're not that guy, and replacing them with truth. Not hype, not fantasy, just truth built on discipline and action. And don't wait for the world to validate your new identity. Don't wait for applause. You act first. You decide first. You declare it to yourself, and then you prove it through repetition. The world will catch up later, or it won't. It doesn't matter, because discipline rooted in identity doesn't need permission. It doesn't need hype. It just moves, quiet, relentless, focused. That's how you hack your mind. You don't just change what you do. You change who you are at the core. You build a version of you that doesn't flinch in the face of resistance, that doesn't fold under pressure, and doesn't let old habits steal the future. And once that version of you takes over, you'll stop chasing discipline and start living it. Goals sound good. They look impressive on paper. I want to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I'm going to build a business, write a book, change my life. But the truth is, goals are nothing without triggers. Triggers are the real architecture of discipline. Goals give you direction, sure, but triggers control your behavior in the moment. And that's where everything either happens or falls apart. Because when you're tired, when it's cold outside, when motivation is gone, you're not thinking about your goals. You're thinking about comfort. You're thinking about quitting. In those moments, what matters isn't the big vision. It's the system. It's the environment. It's the cues that kick you into gear without asking how you feel. That's the mistake most people make. They set goals and expect discipline to carry them through. But discipline without a system is just willpower, and willpower runs out fast. What you need are triggers, things in your day, your environment, your routines that flip the switch before your excuses get a chance to speak. You want to wake up early, then your phone isn't next to your bed. It's across the room. You want to work out in the morning, then your shoes are by the door the night before, not buried in the back of the closet. That's a trigger. You see it, and it drives action before you even have time to resist it. Because here's what most people don't realize. Discipline doesn't happen asterisk in asterisk the decision. It happens asterisk before asterisk the decision. It happens in the setup. You don't decide to be disciplined in the moment. You build an environment that makes discipline automatic. That's how you win long term. That's how you stop relying on motivation and start building consistency that sticks even when life punches you in the mouth. Let's say your goal is to write every day. Most people will just say, "I'll write when I have time," but time doesn't show up on its own. You have to create it. So what's the trigger? Is it sitting at your desk at the same hour every morning with your document already open? Is it starting the timer the second your coffee finishes brewing? Those triggers matter more than the goal itself, because they don't ask if you feel like it. They tell you it's time. Triggers create momentum, and momentum creates identity, and identity, that's what locks in discipline for good. Once it becomes normal for you to take action when the trigger hits, you're not even thinking about the goal anymore. You're just doing the thing day after day. You're not battling yourself in your head anymore. You've made the decision once, and now the trigger makes sure you follow through. So if you want to be more disciplined, stop trying to remember to do the hard thing. Design your life so you can't forget. Leave yourself no choice but to act. Structure beats struggle. Systems beat emotion. When you make discipline easy to start, you make success harder to stop. And that's the real game. Here's another layer. Your triggers don't just come from physical things. They come from your thoughts too. Maybe stress used to trigger Netflix or scrolling or junk food. Fine, that's what it was. But you can flip it. You can rewire that. Make stress your signal to go lift something heavy, or sit down and journal, or take cold action instead of emotional reaction. You're training your brain to respond to the same stimulus in a new way. That's mental hacking at its best, and it's completely within your control. Don't chase the goal, build the system, set the traps for your lower self, set the cues that your future self will thank you for. Every great performer, every disciplined individual, they don't just have vision, they have structure. Their life is rigged in favor of the work. They've set up the field so that even when they feel like doing nothing, something kicks them forward. That's not an accident, that's design, that's strategy. You can do the same. Start small. Pick one area of your life, one action you want to do consistently, and then ask, what's the trigger? What comes before it? What could remind me, guide me, pull me toward it without needing willpower? Build that, install it into your day, stack them one by one, because over time, those tiny moments of action on autopilot will stack into something massive. And when they do, you won't just be someone with goals. You'll be someone who moves no matter what. Most people fail not because they aren't capable, but because they leave the door open. They give themselves a way out, a soft landing, an escape route, and they call it being realistic. But the truth is, as long as failure is still an option in your mind, discipline will always be a negotiation. It will always come second to comfort, and your goals will always take a back seat to your excuses. You've got to eliminate the option to fail, not because you're invincible, but because you've decided there's no turning back. It's a mental switch, a way of showing your mind that you're done playing halfway, that you're not going to keep bargaining with your own weakness, that failure, while possible, is not something you plan for. Think about how powerful this is. When there's no plan B, plan A gets your full attention, your full energy, your full commitment. When there's no mental cushion to fall back on, you stand taller, you fight harder, you act with urgency because you have to. And that's the mindset where true discipline is born. You want to wake up early. Stop giving yourself the option to hit snooze. Don't just try to get up. Build a life where sleeping in costs you something, where it breaks your rhythm, where it violates the standard you've set for yourself. Discipline isn't about having superhuman willpower. It's about removing the things that tempt you to compromise. This isn't about being reckless. It's about clarity. It's about making a decision and refusing to argue with yourself about it every day. Because the second you make success optional, you water down your urgency, and when urgency disappears, so does intensity, so does consistency, so does progress. That's what happens to people who say, "I'll give this 6 months and see what happens." No, you give it everything. You give it no exit, because as long as maybe exists, commitment doesn't. And if commitment doesn't exist, neither does transformation. You'll keep circling the same level, pretending you're trying, while deep down you know you've left yourself a way to quit. But when you eliminate the option to fail, when you close the back door and lock it behind you, everything sharpens. You start thinking differently. You become resourceful, creative, relentless, because you're not hoping it works anymore. You're making it work. That's the difference between dabblers and the disciplined. One tests the water, the other burns the boats. This is how you build identity. This is how you reinforce belief. You prove to yourself that you're serious, not by what you say, but by what you eliminate. Excuses, alternatives, weak language, anything that gives your lesser self oxygen, you cut it off. Not because you're cruel, but because you're focused. Because the mission matters more than your comfort. And look, life is going to test you. It's going to push back. It's going to throw uncertainty in your face and ask, "Are you sure?" That's when the average person folds, because they were never all in. They had a backup plan, a reason to stop, but the disciplined, they move forward anyway, not because they feel confident, but because there's no other way. Even the language you use matters. Stop saying, "I'll try." Start saying, "I will." Stop saying, "If it doesn't work out." And start asking, "What will I do to make it work?" Do you feel the shift? One is tentative, the other is inevitable. One leaves space for failure, the other leaves space for adaptation. You're not made for lukewarm decisions. You're not wired to coast through life hoping things click. You were built to commit, fully, to set a standard so high it scares your old habits. To show up with the kind of consistency that makes failure irrelevant, not because it can't happen, but because you've removed your permission to surrender. So today, eliminate something, anything that gives you an easy way out. Burn the list of excuses. Walk past the comfort zone and don't look back, and then show up, not because you feel like it, but because you said you would, because the option to fail is no longer on the table. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your signal. It's your inner alarm clock telling you something has to change. But most people, the second they feel discomfort, they back off. They label pain as a weakness, something to be avoided, pushed away, ignored. But here's the truth. Pain isn't a wall, it's a doorway. And if you can learn to walk through it instead of retreating from it, you'll find strength on the other side that most never access. Every disciplined person you admire, every high performer, every warrior in any field, they've all suffered. They've all hurt, but what makes them different is what they did with that pain. They didn't use it as an excuse to stay down. They used it as fuel, as a weapon. They allowed it to sharpen their resolve, to clarify their purpose, and to amplify their hunger. The mind wants comfort, it wants ease, it wants predictability, but life doesn't care what the mind wants. Life is going to punch you in the mouth either way. The question is, what do you do when that happens? Do you curl up and complain, or do you rise, not in spite of the pain, but because of it? Pain gives you the edge if you're willing to face it. If you let it teach you, it reveals your blind spots. It exposes the parts of you that were weak, soft, unprepared. And that's not something to be ashamed of. It's something to work with. You're being handed a mirror. You're being shown exactly where you need to grow, but only if you stop running and start listening. You see, when you reframe pain, everything changes. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start asking, what is this building in me? Because discipline isn't born in peace. It's forged in fire, in setbacks, in sweat, in those early mornings when the bed is warm and the goal is cold, in those late nights when no one's watching and you've got nothing left to prove, except to yourself. Discipline is built when you keep showing up, even when everything in your body says don't. That's pain becoming power. That's you transforming adversity into armor, not through some inspirational quote, but through real, gritty action, through the decision to use pain as a tool, not a trap. And I'll be honest with you, most people will never get there. They'll keep looking for hacks, shortcuts, soft paths. They'll keep resenting the discomfort, avoiding the growth that pain demands, but not you. You're different. You understand that pain is the toll to be paid on the road to discipline, that it's not a detour, it's the main route. The direct line between where you are and who you were born to become. Now, this doesn't mean you glorify suffering. You don't chase pain for its own sake. You channel it. You direct it. When something hurts, you ask yourself, what is this teaching me about my limits, about my mindset, about what I still have to work on? You don't get bitter. You get better. You don't collapse. You convert. When life knocks you down, use that floor as a foundation. When your plan falls apart, rebuild it smarter. When people doubt you, let that sting remind you why you started. That's how you use pain as a weapon. You turn it into proof, into fuel, into pressure that forges discipline so deep it becomes who you are. Because once you've walked through pain and refused to break, you don't fear it anymore. And that makes you dangerous. That makes you unstoppable. You've stopped being reactive. You've become intentional, focused, resilient. You realize that the pain didn't destroy you. It refined you. So the next time pain knocks, don't run. Invite it in, study it, learn from it. Let it harden your focus and deepen your drive, and then rise, not as a victim of your pain, but as the weapon it helped create.